Hello and welcome to the next lesson in the series Learn to Play the Violin with me. For this lesson, make sure your bow is rosined, make sure your violin is tuned, and we'll get started. 15-minute timer is starting now. When we last left off, we had played number 64 on page 19 of the Essential Elements Violin Book 1. It's called Essential Elements Quiz, the D major scale. We know 8 notes, the 8 notes of the D major scale, so we are going to play this as our warm-up to remind ourselves of all those 8 notes, and then we will move along in the book. So let's get our violin in position. Remember to take a moment and make sure your bow hold is correct from all those times we've practiced before. Make sure that your shoulder rest is on correctly so it's a comfortable position. And remember to curve those left hand fingers into fingers so that you're only touching one string at a time. Let's see what we remember. Let's try number 64. We're starting with the down bow, which that symbol above the first D, that rectangle, square, it looks like a house symbol, means a down bow, which means we're going down like this. We're going starting at the frog and we're moving our bow along the string up to the tip. Let's try it. Number 64. D. 1, 2, ready, play. Line 2. You may have heard in those last 2 measures, my G and my F sharp, they were a little bit flat, so I kind of slid my finger up to adjust. That's all part of playing and working on that muscle memory to remember exactly where to put your fingers. Remember that for this piece, we are playing each note 2 times in a row, except that high D. High D is at the top of the scale, and then on line 2, it starts again. Line 2 starts with that high D because now it's the first note going down. So it's actually 4 high Ds in a row if you look at it. So make sure that your eyes are always moving a little bit further ahead than you're playing so that you know what's coming up next. Let's try it one more time, and then we'll move on. 1, 2. Let's try it a little bit faster this time. 1, 2, ready, play. Great. Let's move on to number 65. Let's read C sharp review. We already know C sharp. There are 2 notes in this piece. There's C sharp, which is the 3rd space note going up, and there's high D, if you look in measure 3, which is the 4th line note going up. I think they're having us review because C sharp and D are only a half step apart. So it's just reviewing that you're keeping your fingers really close together. So in the music that we listen to and that we play, a half step is the smallest interval between 2 notes that our ear recognizes and that our hands play. So make sure that your fingers stay close together because C sharp and D are not that much different in sound. Let's try number 65. Let's sight read it. Now we're starting with C sharp. C sharp is 2 fingers on the A string. So we have A, which is open A, B is 1 finger, C sharp is 2. So let's see. D, C sharp, C sharp, C That's the beginning pitch. Let's sight read number 65. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest, rest, rest. Remember, when we play the rests, we don't need to take our bow off the string since we are staying on the same string. So just make sure that you stop it confidently so that you don't get that screeching sound. Let's try one more time. C sharp, C sharp. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Let's try it again. My angle was wrong, so I was accidentally hitting the D string. Let's try that one more time. I will adjust that. I also adjusted my left wrist because I was accidentally kind of curving it. So remember, you want to have as straight of a wrist as you possibly can so you don't develop that habit, and that could really hurt your wrist over time. 65. C sharp. 1, 2, ready, play. Rest. 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 And I lifted my bow there for that last rest since we were done with the piece. Good. Let's turn the page. Always exciting. All right. Page number 20 has us starting to play eighth notes. If you look at that yellow box at the top, it says each eighth note equals a half a beat. 2 eighth notes equal 1 beat. So 2 eighth notes, it's 2 sounds, 2 notes that live inside 1 beat. So a quarter note, which we've been playing so far, is 1 note that lasts for 1 beat. Eighth notes last for a half beat each. So 2 of them fit inside 1 beat. So you'll see some numbers underneath the music going forward. So there are 4 beats in each measure from what we've been playing so far. And you can tell that if you look down the line at the very beginning, there are 2 numbers of each piece. There are 2 numbers stacked on top of each other. That's called a time signature. So the top number in the time signature tells us how many beats happen, how many beats are in each measure. So all the ones that we have a 4 at the top, which means there are 4 beats in each measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. The bottom numbers tells us what kind of note gets one of those beats. Anytime you see a 4 at the bottom, that means a quarter note gets one of those beats. So let's look at 66. It's rhythm rap, shadow bow, and count before playing. So we're not going to shadow bow, we're going to just count it. You see the numbers underneath. There are 4 beats in each measure, but you see these and signs, or the and symbols. That's because the eighth notes don't happen on the beats. They can, but since each one is only half a beat, we need something to say when that second eighth note happens, when that fourth eighth note happens, in between the numbers of the beats. So that's called subdivision. Instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, we now say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's called subdividing, and it's just a way to get it as precise as possible, those half beats, eighth notes. If you look at 66, you'll see that there are 4 notes that are connected by a beam at the top. Those are 4 eighth notes. They each last for a half a beat, so for a total of 2 beats long, we need to fit 4 notes inside. 1 and 2 and. You heard me say 4 syllables, 1 for each note. 1 and 2 and. You may have learned them as TTs or do-days or some other rhythmic syllable, but we're going to count using the 4 beats plus the subdivision. So if you look at number 66, I'm going to slowly say the rhythm. You can either watch or try it with me, and then we'll try it together. All 4 measures I'll go through, so from beginning to end. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Let's try it together. Say it with me, clap it with me. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. My foot was tapping the beat, so those numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. That's called the steady beat. But those eighth notes, since more than one note happened per beat, that's why we were clapping more than I was tapping my foot. Let's try it one more time. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Let's look at number 67, pepperoni pizza. The reason it's titled that is because the rhythm of pepperoni pizza is the rhythm that we just clapped, and it's the rhythm that we're going to play now in number 67. It's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3. Because beat 4 is that quarter rest. So it matches the words pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni pizza. That's why it has that title. We start on high D. So now that just means that we're bowing more frequently. We're still doing the pattern down bow, up bow, down bow, up bow. Let's try to sight read it. It starts on high D and it goes all the way down to low D. So we're going down the scale. No new notes, but we have new rhythms now. Let's try. Let's find it. A, B, C sharp, D. Here's high D. Let's try it starting on high D, nice and slow. If you want to, if the counting makes sense to you of 1 and 2 and 3, 4, or if you just want to say to yourself out loud or in your head, pepperoni pizza, that's fine too. Whatever gets you to play the rhythm correctly. Let's try it. D. 1, 2, ready, and... All right, there's a lot going on there. So we have 4 Ds for 4 eighth notes and then 2 C sharps, but they're quarter notes. 4 Bs in eighth notes, then 2 As, but quarter notes. 4 Gs for eighth notes and then 2 F sharps as quarter notes, 4 Es, and then 1 single D at the bottom, and then a quarter rest at the end. Let's try it again. We'll try it a little bit slower. I may have done that one a little too fast. Sorry about that. D. Let's try it. 1 and 2 and ready, play. All right, you may have heard that my quarter notes were a little bit shaky sounding, so I need to remember to adjust my speed of the bow so that it gets a smooth sound. Let's try it again, starting on high D. D. Make sure the form for your right hand is good, the form for your left hand is good. Hey, Gary. Gary wants to listen to the piece. I don't know if you can see him on the screen, but he's here, so we have an audience. Let's do it. 67. Ready, play. Whoa, let's try that again. My fingers slid all over the place. Okay, let's try that again. So when that happens, I want to stop and I want to address that right away and try it again, so I can correct that mistake instead of just kind of blowing through and not stopping. There are times where that's okay to do. You just play through your mistakes. But for now, woohoo! For now, we are stopping and correcting that. Let's do it. D. Ready, play. Okay, and stop again. I had the wrong angle, so I was playing both high D and low D at the same time, which, although it sounded very cool, was not correct. Let's try it. Take 3. Third time's a charm. Ready, play. Oop! Again, the angle is something that I continue to struggle with and work through. You might have something that keeps popping up. We just have to keep working on it. That is part of the learning process with anything, specifically instruments. There are going to be things, it's really about the long game. So stay patient with yourself and just know that you really are improving every single lesson. I'm telling myself this too. It's not going to be perfect. Rarely does any musician play something totally perfect because your brain is doing so many things at once. But all we can do is just keep shooting for perfection and just keep improving what we can. I will see you during the next lesson. Can't wait.